In this short video, we're going to discuss how to create a gradebook synchronization between my Schoology and my student information system Gradebooks. It's important to make sure that it is synchronized if I would like to share my Schoology assignments with my student information system and therefore make it an easily accessible aspect of my gradebook for calculation purposes and also to communicate with students and their families. The first thing I want to do is make sure that my app is set up correctly. In most cases, this is handled by central office or by your school-based technology support. You'll notice that in this case, I'm in my class, and in the lower left-hand corner, the PowerSchool app, which is our student information system, is present. This is an indication that it is set up correctly, although we'll have an opportunity to test that later. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my PowerTeacher Pro gradebook is set up correctly and the 4 categories are listed that I plan on using. You'll notice there are 5 categories here, but the 5th category does not have any weights attached to it. If I'm synchronizing a weighted gradebook, I need to make sure that all the categories are set up correctly and weighted the same as they would in the gradebook. If a category is not going to be used, but it is part of the weighting system, it still needs to be included in the Schoology gradebook. If I have, in this case I do, the category checklists that I don't use and it is not a part of the weighted system, then I don't need to include it in my synchronization. It's also important to remember that the synchronized subjects must include categories that are exactly identical in name and in weight. So you'll notice major assignments and assessments has no space here. It's important that that is also the case when I put the category into my Schoology course. So I'm going to go back over here to Schoology. I'm going to click on Grade Setup. And at this point, I'm going to set up the categories so that they are named and weighted just like my student information system. I click on Add, and I can begin this process. All right, so I've gone ahead and entered 4 categories, and I'm going to add weights. But before I do, I want to make absolutely certain that it's the same in name. So I'm going to look at classwork, homework, quiz, major assignments, and assessments. And you'll notice there's a space there between the ampersand and the word assessments. If I go back to PowerTeacher Pro, I'll notice that there's no space there. There is a space between these two, but there's not a space here. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and recreate this category. So I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to confirm its deletion. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and create my assignment, major assignments category by clicking on Add, Category Name, and Create. Now that I know that all 4 categories are created correctly, I'm going to click up here to Weight Categories, and I'm going to make sure that they are weighted accurately. So if I go over here, I'll notice that homework is 10%, classwork is 20%, quizzes is 30%, and the last category is 40%. I want to make sure that I have exactly the same thing here. So classwork is 20, homework is 10, major assignments is 40, and quizzes is 30. After we do this, my next step would be to double check. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time here in our video, but normally I would double check just to make absolute certain that in name and weight, the categories are the same. Now that I've correctly set up my gradebook, I can go ahead and start synchronizing my gradebook. At this point, I don't have any assignments here, so you'll notice when I click on gradebook, it's blank. If I had assignments already, they would appear here, and they'd appear on throughout. To synchronize my gradebook, I need to first identify which categories are going to be mapped to my PowerSchool or my Student Information System categories. I'm going to do so by clicking on the app down here, and you'll notice where it says Sync Grades, that's where I would synchronize different assignments. The reason why it's not yet synced and there's an error is because I have not assigned a category to that assignment. And as you recall, we've just done that. I'm going to go ahead and click on Configuration, and it will give me PowerSchool categories that we've already seen, and it will also give me Schoology course categories that I'm going to map to those. So in this case, I'm going to map classwork to classwork, homework to homework, major assignments and assessments to major assignments and assessments, and then quiz to quiz. I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. At this point, now, once I have grades in the system and they have appropriately been assigned to a category, I will be able to synchronize my grades. I'll be able to select assignments and then sync the changes. This was how to set up my gradebook for synchronization between Schoology and PowerTeacher Pro or another student information system. If you need any support with this, with setting up or with synchronization, for example, if you see any errors and you aren't sure how to proceed, please contact your building ITTS for more support. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.